days, and you were drafted, so you had 90 days to make a decision. And I made a good one, and I'm sure Pete did too.
My draft number was 364.
So, anyhow,
We never want it gone.
we were stationed on the same ship, okay, and it was the USS Buck, destroyer, okay, tin can, and made a couple trips to Vietnam. You made 2, I made 1, and never once did we feel threatened, okay. We were more worried about the weather and typhoons than anything else, okay. And some of the things that I remember people saying on the ship that I'll never forget, and one was Markham. Remember that? What did that mean?
Markham.
Markham. We were radar men too. So that meant you took a bearing and a range to the contact. Somebody would tell you to mark it, and you said 090, 5 miles, okay. And that would be constant. Also, we would say, or we would hear, Roger Ball. What was that? Remember that?
I just got an iPad.
Roger Ball meant that.
Yeah, so did I for Christmas. I still want it. Me too. I
When they were
have
coming
half
back
the stuff.
from their flight ops in
My
the
daughter and
Gulf of
son-in-law
Tonkin,
gave it to
they
me.
would say Roger Ball, the pilot. That meant that he had a visual on the carrier. Because if you're going to land on that carrier, you've got to see that. What about Buick and Ralph? Why don't you tell them what that is? Why don't you tell them Buick and Ralph?
Yeah.
The Borowski rail.
Nah, what was Buick and Ralph?
Yeah, we know that.
Now
All right,
before
you-
we eat the cake.
Buick and Ralph were the signs that he and I would make when we're puking over the side.
War stories.
He was Buick and I was Ralph, all right? We probably got 50 pounds in the Pacific Ocean.
You never got your sea
The
leg.
tsunami probably washed some of the shore, you know, years later, that was still there. But anyhow, we had a good time together, okay? Pete is from Maine, a small town called North Windham.
And he had a thick Maine accent.
All right.
Yeah, he doesn't anymore.
Well, another thing,
Aya?
maybe he was a barber.
Down
He
east?
cut everybody's hair.
My
Remember
first daughter
that?
was
He was a
born.
barber, and we
No,
allowed everybody
No,
would
I
go
cut
to,
your hair.
Only crybabies like you.
everybody would go to Pete because he was forgiving. He went to the ship's barber. I mean, you were scalped. And back then, you wanted to have a mustache and sideburns and look like the old Cornets. Back then. All right, but his dad was he worked in the paper mill, right? Ma was in the bakery. They lived on the lake, similar to Brighton Lake here, and we'd take vacations back there all the time. Pentagon Pond. We'd catch perch, and there's some pictures over there. The perch look like walleyes if you take a look at them. But over there in Maine, they were so used to the cod and halibut and all that, nobody fished the perch.
They were trash.
We would go over there and fill up a Coleman cooler full of filleted perch throughout the week. You know, we'd go out, catch a 5-gallon bucket, come back and clean them, lay them, and freeze them, and take them back. And then, of course, lobster. He had one of his good buddies named Steve. He was a lobster fisherman. Okay, he lived right on the coast on an island, actually.
Yeah, he lived on an island.
Right now, we'd get lobster from him. Most of the time, he wouldn't charge us. He would give us to him, but if he did charge us, it was 75 cents. 75 cents. Yeah.
Well, I just went out to Casco Bay.
Some of our best memories are the trips. We made a half a dozen of them. One time we were in Massachusetts, remember that? And keys got locked in the car. It was you that broke into the car.
I'm not from Detroit.
Another time we got lost in Montreal, remember that situation there? I don't want to get into that.
You were driving.
That's what I'm trying to say, that we've got a lifetime of memories and friendship that has lasted for over 40 years. And we'll continue, I'm sure.
I think we've all had good memories here, Pete. I think my first experience in following you is the time I was looking for a water main, and you had one of those divining rods, and he's walking around, and the thing starts to vibrate. This is right there. Yeah, this is not scientific, you know. I've been to school, Sure enough, he found it. It was there. I couldn't believe it. It was working. It was like magic. So after that, I respected him. Because he could find any broken main, water.
You knew where it was before.
Yeah,
You knew where it was.
He was here before anyone, so when the construction started here, he was sort of the guy every day that made sure that they followed certain procedures, and he knew where everything was, so we're going to miss you for that reason, because I don't know of anybody here who knows where all these water valves are, and the mains, and all that sort of stuff, so we may just call you one day. Yeah, I think we're going to make you honorary member of Pine Creek. And Pete's also asked me, can he come here to fish? Now, we're going to put that up to a vote, right? Because, this is democracy, right? All those in favor of letting Pete come back to do some fishing here, raise your right hand. Yay! Okay, Pete, unanimous. You can come back. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Along that line here, Pete, I'd like to present you with a plaque, okay, from all the homeowners here. Presented to Ranger Pete Turgeon in recognition for many years of loyal and dedicated service to Pine Creek Ridge Homeowners Association, January 2013. Now, there's a deer here, we've heard the story, and an owl. The owl is that wise bird that we respect, and so this is going to be yours.
Thank you.
So, find a good spot for it. We really appreciate that. Okay?
And I don't want to be remiss, but I wouldn't have had the time of my life if I didn't have Elise with me. Okay, so the Boy Scout days, up and down, and
Along that line, one more story, since you brought it up. This was when he was working here and I was at DBRA, which I still am, and there were no cell phones back then, so I was called to touch base with him, and every time I called, it would always be that he's in the pool. He's down at... So a week later I call, I get the same message, Pete is down at the pool. I can't figure out why he's at the pool. But if you don't know it, Elise was a lifeguard at the pool. So that's how they met. They met at the pool.
And then Peter never left the pool.
I wanted to tell one quick story.
No, you told us.
I was in the Navy for a while before David came aboard. I was back on leave, and when I got back to the ship, I went down, and my bunk's down here, his bunk's up here, and this guy, I didn't know who he was, he's sitting on... What's the matter? Hey, what's the matter with you, man? I said, I had to leave Carroll in Michigan. That's a true story.
If you want to see the pool, we have a picture of it, and it basically is on Hopman's property, lot 44, and a corner of it is on my property, lot 43, so if you want to see it, it's there. But anyway, Pete, the board wanted to give you something a little more than a plaque, so this is a gift for you from the board. Okay. Open that up. Just rip it apart.
My hands are bad.
Now, this is called having time on your hands.
This used to be the prized possession when you were in the Navy. They sold Seiko watches on the ship. That was a big deal back in the late 60s.
See, they didn't know that.
Okay. Now, this watch is waterproof. It does not have a battery. It will last forever. It's expandable.
So you can wear it fishing though.
Yeah, we can take a fishing watch.
That's a beautiful.
His gardening, can't get it wet.
Vince,
Thanks so much.
Mark, meet you left, okay?
I'm gonna wear that with a great deal of pride, and that's one thing I don't have.
Might have-
No.